Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening. So, this article was something I ran across because I've heard about this 5G theory. The 5G theory that now is becoming a thing in the UK or in the United Nations or United Kingdom. And so, let me read this right here. This is really wild. And I just wanted to dedicate this video right here to a number of things that I've been noticing since this coronavirus pandemic. There's been a lot of fear, a lot of conspiracy theories floating around, and a lot of scammers are out. I mean, there's so many scammers out there. It's unbelievable. It has brought out some of the craziest of the crazy and some of the most scariest of the scary. So this is out of the Associated Press. So it says conspiracy theorists burn 5G towers claiming there's a link to the virus. And this is by Kelvin Chan, Beatrice Dupoy, and Arheta, and I may not, or Ariheta Laka. So I may not even be saying that correct, but sorry if I did. But here's a cell phone tower, and you're going to see later at the end of this article what they do. They, as in these conspiracy groups that believe. Well, let's get into the article. London, out of the Associated Press, a CCTV footage from the Dutch business park shows a man in a black cap pouring the contents of a white container at the base of a cell phone tower or cellular radio tower. Flames burst out as the man jogs back to his Toyota to flee into the evening. So it's a scene that has been repeated dozens of times in recent weeks in Europe, where conspiracy theorists are linking the 5G mobile networks and the corona pandemic are fueling arson attacks on cell phone towers. So popular belief and conspiracy theories that wireless communications pose a threat have long been around, but the global spread of the virus at the same time that the countries were rolling out fifth generation wireless technology has seen some of those false narratives amplified. So officials in Europe and the US are watching the situation very closely and pushing back concern that the attacks will undermine the vital telecommunication links at a time they're most needed to deal with the pandemic. I'm absolutely outraged, absolutely disgusted that the people would be taking action against the very infrastructure that we need to respond to this health emergency, Stephen Powis, medical director of the National Health Services in England, said in early April. And so some 50 fires are targeting cell phone towers and other equipment have been reported in Britain this month, leading to 3 arrests. Telecom engineers have been abused on the job 80 times, according to the trade group Mobile UK, making up UK the UK and the nucleus of the attacks. So a photo or photos and videos are documenting attacks are often overlaid with false commentary about COVID-19. Some 16 have been torched in the Netherlands, with attacks also reported in Ireland and Cyprus and Belgium. So posts that are threatening to attack phone masts were receiving likes on Facebook. And so one post in an anti-vaccine group on April the 12th shared a photo of a burned phone mast with the quota, "Nobody wants cancer and COVID-19. Stop trying to make it happen or every pole and mobile store will end up like this one," in quotes. And so the trend has received attention in Britain, and when a tower supply or supplying voice and data traffic to Birmingham Field Hospital treating coronavirus patients was among those that was targeted. And so it's heart rendering enough that the families cannot be there at the bedside of the loved ones who are critically ill, Nick Jeffrey, CEO of the wireless carrier Vodafone in UK, said on LinkedIn. So it's even more upsetting when even the small solace of a phone or video call may now be denied them because of the selfish actions of a few deluded conspiracy theorists. So, false narratives around the 5G and the coronavirus have been shared hundreds and thousands of times on social media like Facebook, YouTube, and there's a whole host of others. And they are widely from claims that the coronavirus is a cover up for the 5G deployment to those that say new 5G installations have created the virus. So to be concerned that 5G is somehow driving the COVID-19 epidemic is just wrong. This is Dr. Jonathan Samet, Dean of the Colorado School of Public Health, who chaired the WHO, which is the World Health Organization committee that researched cell phone radiation and cancer. I just don't find any plausible way to link them. Anti-5G activists are undeterred. Susan Brenchman, director of the Center for Electro-Smog Prevention, a nonprofit campaigning against environmental electromagnetic pollution, says the people have a right to be concerned about 5G and the links to COVID-19. The entire 5G infrastructure should be dismantled and turned off, she said by email. And so there is no evidence that wireless communication, whether 5G or earlier versions, harm the immune system, said Myrtle Simcoe, scientific director of SciProof International in Sweden, who has spent decades researching this matter. So the current wave of 5G theories dates back to January when a Belgian doctor suggested a link to COVID-19. Older variations were circulating before that, mostly revolving around cell phone radiation that has caused cancer. So spreading this this theory has spread it on Reddit forums, Facebook pages, and YouTube channels. So even with the daily wireless use among vast majorities of adults, the National Cancer Institute has not seen an increase of brain tumors. So the theories gained momentum in 2019 from Russian state media outlets, which helped push them into the U.S. domestic conversation, disinformation experts say. So Ryan Fox, who tracks disinformation as chief innovation officer at the AI company Yonder, said he noticed the abnormal spike last year in mentions around 5G across Russian state media, with most of the narratives playing off people's fear around 5G and whether it could cause cancer. And so, were they the loudest voice at the time? And did they amplify this conspiracy enough that it helped fuel its long-term success? Yes, it did, he said. The conspiracy theories have also been elevated by celebrities, none other than Woody Harrelson, who shared a video claiming people in China were taking down a 5G tower, but it was actually a Hong Kong smart lamppost cut down by a pro-democracy protester in August over China's surveillance figures. So British TV host Eamon Holmes gave credence to the theories on a talk show, drawing a rebuke from regulators. And so I want to be very clear here, European Commission spokesman Johannes Barke said on Friday, as the arson toll rose daily, there is no geographic or any other correlation between the deployment of 5G and the outbreak of this virus. And so this article was by the people I mentioned earlier, and the names earlier in the article before I started reading them. So I'm going to go up. And there's some still photos of a cell phone tower, and then there's going to be some still photos of a building And it's going to show here in this Tuesday of January 2020 a photo of a mobile network phone. And you're going to see this is St. Paul Cathedral in the city of London. Dozens of European towers have been destroyed in recent arson attacks. Official wireless companies say they're fueled by the conspiracy theories linking it to 5G mobile networks in the corona pandemic. So this is all things that have been happening since this pandemic, and some of the reactions and some of the people that have been following it, why they believe in some of this stuff and how it is affecting people. So that's the cell phone tower. And somebody, he climbs up and then he pours something on it and destroys it and it burns it. And so this is what you're seeing here that I'm kind of touching. And you're going to see that same tower where somebody must have climbed up and it's destroyed. And so they have to keep fixing these cell phone towers that have been burned or they've been damaged, severely damaged. So another story that has been also floating around is this thing called the stimulus challenge. And how did it start? A Louisiana pastor who defied coronavirus orders is asking people to give their stimulus money to a church. And this came in CNN earlier this month on the 19th. And this pastor actually was trying to get people who were getting a stimulus check to give their stimulus checks to him, or the church as he would claim, in good faith. But a Louisiana pastor who first of all, he defied the state orders and repeatedly held a large church service during the corona pandemic, is now asking congregants to donate their stimulus checks to the church. His name was Pastor Tony Spell, who launched what he called the hashtag Pastor Spell Stimulus Challenge, asking Americans to donate their government checks to evangelists, missionaries, and the music ministry, who he said have not received offerings over a month. So he said that him and his wife and his son all have donated their checks, and added that those without a church can donate through his website. And so I will show you that website. I believe I've found it. And so I will show you that website. So asked by CNN Victor Blaxwell on Sunday why he is asking people to donate their money, or people who don't have very much, to hand over their $1,200 checks. Spells said that it was because some evangelists and missionaries don't receive stimulus monies. That was his answer. They just don't receive the money. So we are challenging you, if you can, to give your stimulus check to the evangelists and missionaries who do not get stimulus packages, he told CNN Sunday. The challenge comes after Spell repeatedly held large religious services in recent weeks, and at his what is called Life Tabernacle Church in Baton Rouge, the gatherings defied the CDC's stay-home orders, recommendations, and emergency order by Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards that set limits on large gatherings to try to stop the spread of this virus. So if they close every door in the city, then I will close my doors, Spell told CNN last month. But you can't say the retailers and essentials, but the church is not an essentials, but the church is not. And so this is the persecution of the faith. So Spell has also told CNN that he believes the pandemic is politically motivated, and that it has said that the rules are the government overreach. And so last month, police in Baton Rouge issued him a misdemeanor summons for 6 counts of violating the governor's executive order barring large gatherings. Instead of showing the strength and resilience of the community during the difficult time, Mr. Spell has chosen to embarrass us for his own self-promotion, said the Central Police Chief Roger Corcoran. I may not be pronouncing it right, so sorry for that. I'll just say Chief Rogers, because I'm desecrating the last name, said in a statement on March 31st. So Mr. Spell will have his day in court where he will be held responsible for his recklessness and the irresponsible decisions of endangering the health of his congregants and or community. So Quorum added. Spell held an Easter week service after the summons was ordered and said that about 1,220 people attended, including some who were bussed in and others drove more than 100 miles to be there. With its early outbreak, Louisiana had ninth most confirmed COVID-19 cases in the U.S. According to the latest tally, over 23,000 people have contracted the virus and 1,267 have died in that particular state. And so that is in the news. And I don't know if this is the same guy, but he may be the same guy. There was another pastor, and I don't know if this is the same one because they don't have a picture attached to this of who this pastor is. But he also, I'm thinking this is the same guy who ran over somebody recently. They had arrested him, and then he got out on $170 something or $76 bail. And so he ran over a protester, and I believe I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same fellow that did this. But this is the website called the hashtag Stimulus Challenge. Give local, spend local. Together, let's show our local business and nonprofits. Now, I don't know if this is the same thing. This looks like it might not be the same thing because it says to give to businesses and whatnot. So I'm not sure if this is the exact same thing. But what bothers me about this right here, saying the hashtag the stimulus challenge, give to businesses, this looks like it might be another scam. I just happened across it, so I don't know if it's related. It may not even be related to the same person, but it may be another scam. So I just want you to see this. I don't know, if this is, I think the stimulus money was for people who are low income and they don't have a lot of money and they need to pay their bills. And I'm hearing that wasn't a lot of money to pay rent and bills to begin with. So I don't know why somebody would put hashtag stimulus challenge. And then this Louisiana pastor, which probably is separate from this. I just wanted you to see there's a lot of scams going on out here. So this might not even be related. It looks like it's not related to him. But they said he does have a website, and it also, his website is saying Pastor Spell Stimulus Challenge. So this is a different one that I noticed that I happened across. That says you donating to nonprofit businesses. So I don't know if this is another another scam somebody have posted. But also this right here I want to bring attention to. This is more today. It is a police hunt for a man who pretended to thank a care worker, a healthcare worker, for the coronavirus help that they've been giving. Then licked her face. And this is by a Jimmy Soonbugga or Noonsbugga. I don't know if I'm saying that last name correct, but this is a blow up picture of this guy. He licked a healthcare worker's face. I believe this is a healthcare worker that he had victimized. Actually, he licked their face. This is the article. Police hunt for a man who pretended to thank a care worker for coronavirus, then licked her face. And so this is on Yahoo News. So you see the picture. There's going to be another blow-up picture of him. So there's so many people doing so much damage out here. Police have released a CCTV image of a man they want to speak to after he had approached this care worker and licked her face. He asked, I don't know if he asked her to hug him, but let me read it. The 23-year-old female victim was filling her car with petrol gas at a garage on High Street in Birmingham, Derbyshire, when the suspect approached her at 5:15 p.m. on the 14th of April. So the police said that the suspect thanked the woman in her role of the coronavirus fight before hugging her and then licking her face. A spokesperson added that she was wearing her work uniform, and then it is alleged that the man thanked her for being a care worker and hugged her and licked her face. We want to speak to this man in these pictures in case he has information which could help lead them in their inquiry. So I guess they're looking for him. So here's a blow up picture of this man that did this. So this is bringing out some of the wildest scams and some of the wildest people during this pandemic, some of the stuff that people are doing. So that's a CCTV still picture released by the police. If you've seen this man in a black t-shirt with a gray hoodie over the top, of course he's probably changed it by now. But you got a good look at his face. He's going around hugging healthcare workers and licking their faces. And, this is not the time to be hugging and touching on people and licking on them at all. So another person had added, how disgusting and vile. Us carers aren't going through enough at the minute. And come on, people, let's catch this idiot. And to all of you carers, our healthcare workers on the frontline staff, please stay safe and let's look out for one another. So this is another picture I will show you of this individual. And so this is sort of crazy, but yeah, this is what's going on, y'all. I just thought I would put this in this video, that you got to be careful because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of scams. This right here, I just happened across. I thought it was related to this article, honestly, but I'm thinking this is just yet another different separate scam. Possibly. I've heard even on YouTube that some people have reported that they've run into some scams where people have tried to get people's social security number. They tried to get people to give them their stimulus check, or they tried to get people's even their medical information, believe it or not. It says, I don't know if that's the same one, but it says even in the articles right here, it says that Pastor Tony Spell challenges people to donate stimulus money. So, but he said he wanted to donate it to him, not nonprofit organizations. So I'm thinking this is just some other, person that's trying to, get people to give them their money away, which is pretty sad that we got a lot of people doing this, because particularly this money was supposed to be for people who are already, you know, living next to nothing and they're struggling. It's not for them to get it and give it away to people who are preying upon their vulnerabilities. But yet, with having said that, I'm going to leave this. Then this thing with this conspiracy with the 5G cell phone towers. I mean, a lot of stuff is going on. You just got to be safe, not only from the virus that we're being threatened, but we're also being threatened by just people and their, lunacy, and some of the conspiracy theories that have come out over the fears that, they're preying upon people to take their money and approaching people to do harm to them. So just be on the lookout, y'all. But anyway, stay safe.